So let's talk about something fascinating. How can a multi-million-dollar idea just completely crash and burn, while another one, that seems kind of similar, becomes this massive runaway success? Today, we are going to unpack a really powerful framework for innovation, and we're going to do it by looking at this high-stakes marketing showdown between two legendary car brands. Okay, let's get into it.
So, picture this. You've got two huge car companies, Jaguar and Volvo. They both released these big new ad campaigns just 10 days apart from each other. Now, both of them are trying to win over a new generation. But the outcomes, they could not have been more different.
Okay, first up, Jaguar. They pour a ton of money into this slick 30-second commercial. And the result was a catastrophe. I mean, it was confusing, it looked more like a perfume ad, and you could barely even see the car. It actually made their loyal customers so angry and alienated that people, and I'm not kidding, started selling their Jaguars. They just didn't want to be associated with the brand anymore.
Now get this, just 10 days later, Volvo drops their ad. It's almost 4 minutes long, which in the world of advertising is an absolute eternity, right? But it was a work of art. It told this incredibly emotional, human story about a family. It went viral, sales shot through the roof, and it just created this immediate, powerful bond with everyone who watched it.
So here is the billion-dollar question. Why the massive difference? How can two giants in the exact same industry get it so right and so catastrophically wrong? The answer, it turns out, really gets to the very heart of what it means to innovate successfully today.
The entire Jaguar disaster, you can trace it all back to one single fatal flaw. A massive, incredibly expensive, and completely untested assumption they made about who their customer was.
You see, Jaguar made this huge bet. They decided their future was with a younger, quote-unquote, woke demographic. But in chasing this imaginary future customer, they totally insulted and just abandoned the people who actually buy their cars today. They ended up targeting an army of fans who couldn't afford the car, and in the process, they lost an army of customers who could.
And this just hammers home a core truth for any innovator, any entrepreneur, really anyone trying to build anything. Running your project on pure assumption is the absolute fastest way to fail. It's a gamble you just can't afford to take.
So what's the antidote? What's the fix? It's this mindset right here. You have to replace those deadly assumptions with cold, hard evidence. You stop guessing what you think, and you start actually understanding what your customer feels, what they need, what they do. You operate on data, not daydreams.
Okay, fine. So how do you get that data? How do you actually get inside your customer's head? Well, it all starts with a framework we're going to call the Innovator's Map. It's this simple two-part tool that really separates the Volvos from the Jaguars of the world. And part one is all about understanding the path your customer is on. And that path is what we call the customer journey. It's the whole story, from their perspective, from the very first second they realize they have a problem, all the way to the end when they've solved it. The first half of this journey is what's known as the buyer journey.
And what's wild is that every single one of us goes through these exact 4 stages before we buy anything. It kicks off with awareness. That's when you first go, I have a problem. That leads to interest, where you decide, okay, I really need to solve this. Then comes desire, where you start looking around, asking, what are my options? And it all leads to action, the moment you've made a choice and you're ready to pull the trigger. And this is where Volvo's genius just comes into full view. Their ad wasn't just a sweet story. No, it was a masterclass in psychology. In less than 4 minutes, it took people who weren't even thinking about buying a car, made them aware of this deep emotional need for safety and family, and then walked them all the way to the point of action. People were literally in the comments saying, I want to buy a Volvo right now.
So that's part one of the map, understanding the customer's path. Part two is where the real innovation kicks in. And it's not about marketing gimmicks, it's about the science of human emotion. And it's a really simple 2-step process. Your first job, in part 2, is to become an expert in your customer's pain. You take that journey map you've built, and you hunt for every single moment of frustration, of confusion, of anxiety. Where are they hitting a roadblock? Where do they feel lost? Your job is to find all the sad emojis. And once you've found all those pain points, your second job is crystal clear. You design your product, your service, your marketing, the whole experience to specifically transform those moments of pain into moments of relief, of connection, of delight. You turn that sad emoji into a happy one.
And this, right here,
is the fundamental lesson. I mean, think about it. Volvo's ad barely even showed you the car's features. They won because they get it. In today's world, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. They buy the feeling. That emotional connection, it's everything.
So the big takeaway is this: whether you're building a company, you're leading a team, or you're designing a product, you have to stop assuming and start mapping. Find the friction, find the frustration, and then ask yourself this one simple question. Where are the sad emojis in my customer's journey, and what can I build to turn them into smiles?